Welcome to the Squad Show. I'm Sam Ekstrom. 4,267 yards was my J.J. McCarthy season yardage prediction. How'd I do? Did I do okay?
Hey, this is Arif Hasan with Wide Left Football. Luke Braun's processing into HTTP continues apace.
What's happening? Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman with the 18th pick in the 2026 draft. The Vikings draft a bottle of holy water out of Holy Cross. Copycat league.
Skol! It's the Viking Squad. Everything Minnesota Vikings every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
What's going on? Welcome into off-season show number 1, the Viking Squad Show, streaming live on Locked On Vikings, audio, on demand, free, available wherever you get your podcasts and Locked On Vikings podcast feed. You met Luke Inman. You met Arif Hasan. I'm Sam Ekstrom. Luke Braun, too ashamed to show up today with the results of our gambling contest, but you can hear him at Locked On Vikings 5 days a week. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Today, we review the game and the season. 9-8. Vikings, the first team out of the playoffs. 18th pick in the draft. Why does it feel hollow? Why does it feel like it was actually much worse than that this season? We've got nerdy stats of the season. Already leaks that QB help is on the way. And we'll spend a good portion of the back half of the show revisiting our preseason predictions, telling you who was the most accurate. and maybe the most inaccurate is the more fun version of this. All on the Squad Show today. So let's get out in front of it. Everyone is waiting with bated breath to hear what happened with the gambling contest, the year-long gambling contest. And it was funny because Luke Braun wasn't on the show last week. He needed to text his bets in. So anyway, it stood like this. Basically, it came down to Arif Hasan had the lead. You had your bets won. You were 2-0 yesterday. You had Clayton Tune under, hit by a million miles.
Like by the end of the first quarter, because my other bet, because for people who don't know, we had to figure out what our bets were going to be as the book opened up and we got more available props to us. And I had kind of reserved a Justin Jefferson bet, but the over-under was like 79 yards. So I didn't love that. Obviously, if I had taken it, I would have been fine. I didn't love that though. But I was like, I think they want to get him started early. Maybe try to get him to 1,000 yards, get him out of the game. That didn't happen. So the logic was wrong. But nevertheless, it was 15 plus yards in the first quarter. And I was like, yeah, I'll take this. These are incredible odds. So
two plays, hit plus money. And that put you out of reach for me. Now I remember I had a max range that I could bet. I couldn't bet more than that 720 amount. So I could not catch you, Arif. It came down to Luke Braun betting the Packers fourth quarter money line. And what should happen? But it comes down to the final seconds, the final plays of the game inside the 10-yard line. Matt LaFleur waves the white flag instead of going for the touchdown, which would have been an incredible beat. Luke Braun loses, though, and Arif Hasan is our betting champion.
Let's go. I'd like to say, hold on.
What?
I thought you were gonna. Yeah,
I thought you were teeing up like a cool sound effect.
It sounded like okay.
Did you just wait for me to start that sentence just to play that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, perfect soundboard usage. Okay, I'd like to thank me through whom all things are possible. I'd like to thank the Academy for recognizing my strengths and my weaknesses, of course, so that I can work on them. And
in a humble way, of course.
Right, of course. And most of all, I'd like to thank no one else.
Well, we have been texting Arif about what we will get you as a winner's prize, and it is known. And in time to congratulate him. Well, we lost one Luke, we gained another.
Oh no.
Luke Braun. Luke Braun is with us.
Yo,
we were
what's
just
going-
announcing.
Yo,
Hey, loser.
Get that mic right. Get that mic right. And then you can give your sorry, Inman. Inman's back. We're all here. We're all here. The off-season's
Off-season
underway.
has begun.
Here we go. Braun, do you have any courtesy words to tell Arif before we talk actual football?
oh, absolutely not.
Oh God, no. Oh no.
Matt LaFleur should be fired for that final decision.
Yeah, how does he not
kick the field
keep
goal
that
with
in
a
mind
second?
at the end? Yeah, that's a sham. It kind of feels like the NFL's rigged almost, like when you think about how that played out. Like, how is Matt LaFleur not going?
Wait,
losers.
real talk. Is he in a Zimmer situation right now, where if he gets
fans
cooked
seem to
in the
think
first?
so.
Well, there's
I don't
no.
think he is, but fans seem to think so.
The owners release a statement. Oh wait, everyone's an owner. Therefore,
so
no
the-
one's
That's
an
just
owner.
Twitter. That's just Packers Twitter.
Yeah, it's just Packers Twitter. The Packers president has been like releasing statements like every so often. So like earlier this season, he's like, we'll be evaluating everyone's job. And that like got a bunch of Packers Twitter like, yeah, we'll finally show LaFleur what for. By the way, second all time through 7 years in winning percentage among active coaches.
Jeez.
Or not active, all coaches through 7 years, right? Anyway, and then the president released a statement like yesterday saying, no, obviously we love him. What? I'm paraphrasing.
They've made the playoffs, the last 6 years in a row? Is that right?
6 of 7.
6 of 7. Okay.
Yeah, and if you talk to some members of Packers Twitter, that's a poison. It's like a Marvin Lewis type situation. Like you can't be seduced by mere playoff appearances.
Oh God,
Must be rough.
They have been a 7 seed now 3 consecutive years, which is a little bit
true.
purgatory-ish, and they've won 9 or 10 games.
Well, they beat
those
Dallas.
years.
They upset Dallas. Was that 2
Yep.
years ago? As that
They
7 seed in
did.
Dallas?
oh, yeah,
2
only
years-
only 7 seed to ever win. I would go on record and say that if the Packers do fire LaFleur after this season, it will be like the Bears firing Lovey. They won't recover for a decade.
It was so funny because it was a 10-win season, right? And the only reason the Bears didn't make the playoffs is something involved like another game, right? So like another 10-win team, and this is back.
That
in the
10-win
16
team
era.
was the Vikings.
Yeah, which is just like the funniest reason, right? Because like if the Vikings had lost in an unrelated game, Lovey and the Bears would have gone to the playoffs and he would have kept his job. So it was like another game.
Or if
Did
they
the
won a different 10 games.
Right, yeah, just a slight, yeah. And but everyone knew. Like that's the funny thing. It's like no one was like at the end of the year presser, Lovey's like, yeah, peace. Like they're about to fire. Like everyone knew that like it was just the quirk of which 10 games that they happened to win that like got him fired before he became the Illinois head coach. Or whatever.
So Sam, just to confirm, Sam, you said you couldn't catch Arif because you had the minimum bet, but couldn't you have done a crazier parlay, juicier odds kind of situation though as well?
I could
misreading?
have. I misjudged a little bit. I think in my head I thought, well, if I go 2-0 with my safer bets, and my bets were about almost even, a little bit less. I thought I could have caught him if he went 1-1, but then Arif did his Jefferson bet. Was like plus 178, and I didn't know that he would do that which actually that was a little bit sneaky because he made that bet the morning of because we had the whole line situation.
Check the
book
fine
had-
print.
so
I don't know
sneaky, so
is that
sneaky.
allowed?
Is that allowed to make the bet the morning of? That's what we had to do.
Luke, I think you've done that like 3 times.
Yeah, but is it allowed for Arif though?
In fairness,
No.
if we had held Arif to his Jefferson bet, that also would have hit.
Yeah, I would have been fine.
Yeah, the Jefferson bet would have hit with flying colors.
I went out the way I've been doing this all year. I shorted the Vikings all year. It worked out for me great. And then they went on a 5-game winning streak and it stopped working out for me. And I'm at peace with that.
We've got a lot of coach firings coming in, which are a lot of available places for Brian Flores to land. We will get to that. But first, let's just start with the Vikings were 9-8. They were half a game out of a playoff spot, and they have a better record than one of the playoff qualifiers. So why does it feel a little more hollow than that? Braun, I thought you summed it up well yesterday, that they didn't show up for like 5 games. And they dug themselves, and they were eliminated by like the 1st of the month of December. It rendered so much of the season meaningless. I think is probably why we feel this way, even though all the wins count. They all count, early, late, middle, whatever.
So I'll give you my nerdy stat early here if you want. Of the 20 worst quarterbacked games played this season, 5 of them belong to the Vikings.
Okay,
is that 3 different quarterbacks too?
One Brosmer, one Wentz.
No, 2.
That's oh man,
no Wentz in there.
I thought
2
maybe
Brosmer.
Wentz versus the Chargers, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Wentz versus the Chargers is the 44th worst.
That's pretty close, honestly, right? Because like the difference between like 44 and 20 has got to be not that big.
Yeah, games that did not make this cut: Brady Cook against the Patriots last week.
Ooh.
Geno Smith against the Broncos week 10 in a 7-10 loss.
That was an atrocious game.
Not in the worst 20. But for us, the ones that made it were J.J. McCarthy against the Falcons, J.J. McCarthy week 1 against the Bears. So those first 2 games were bottom 20 games.
How many Cam Wards in there? Just do you have it up? If not,
yeah, I do. 1 Cam Ward, and it is better than all of the Vikings games. It is 20th.
Wow.
It was week 13 against the Jaguars. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy's worst game, which was in Lambeau, and then the 2 Max Brosmer games.
Yeah, I still feel like the Vikings saved a lot of face by winning these final 5 games, even though a couple of these wins have, I would say, pretty significant asterisks. You know, the Commanders were, and actually, you know, I broke down the wins versus the losses this season. And I will say the win, there are not many impressive wins when you look at the season in retrospect. So the Bears week 1, I think that at the time felt more like, oh, phew, we didn't lose to the Bears. In retrospect, it looks better. But you beat the Bengals with Browning, the Browns with Gabriel, the Lions on the road. I don't really care that they missed the playoffs. I'm calling that a legit win. That is a legit win for where they were at the time. And as good as that offense is, that is a legit win.
The Lions make the playoffs if the Vikings don't sweep them.
Yep. And I'm willing to call the second Lions win legit also. The Lions were trying as hard as they could, and the Vikings played a whale of a defensive game. I bet, Braun, if you broke down the top 20 defensive games in there, the Vikings would be on that list a few times. But then the Zombie Commanders, the Cowboys on the road, I will give them a half legit because that was
half legit. That
was a legit offense that they faced, a legitimate offensive attack. I give them almost no credit for the Giants or the preseason Packers. But then look at who they lost to: the Steelers, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers, the Seahawks, and then, you know, a bad Falcons team in week 2. But I mean, the distinction's pretty clear. They did not rise to the occasion against playoff teams.
To answer your question quick, Sam, yes, 2 of the top 10 were Vikings games, the Jake Browning and then Christmas against Lions.
Right.
Nice.
That Lions game, dude.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Inman, I think 9-8 is super appropriate.
All right.
He's gone. Arif, I think 9-8 is super appropriate when you look at who they beat, who they lost to. This ended up being not an atrocious team as we once thought, but a middling team, a mediocre team.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably correct. I mean, the defensive performance the Vikings put together in the final 5 or 6 weeks, caveats, you know, everywhere, right? It's like, you know, Marcus Mariota and whatever Jackson Dart is. And, you know, like, right, like caveats everywhere, right? But the defensive performance the Vikings put together the final 5-6 weeks was outstanding. It was extraordinary. They were flirting with being kind of a top 10-ish, top 9-ish defense. By the end of the year, one of my nerdy stats of the season, the Vikings finished 3rd in EPA per dropback. I think 4th by RBs don't matter, but 3rd by next gen stats, right? 4th in success rate against the pass. Just like really outstanding performance, just generally speaking, defensively, that kind of like gives us, and obviously all of the best defensive games occurred alongside some of the better offensive games because the offense was playing against JV defenses. Like that all helps, right? But it kind of like gives you this sense that like, hey, if they had, not the worst quarterback play in the league, which that's not fair. The Browns technically, but essentially not the worst quarterback play in the
Cam
league.
Ward did finish below JJ McCarthy just ever so slightly. And I do believe that the first half of this game mattered.
That's so good. Just like right under the get in at the buzzer. But yeah, like if they had just slightly better quarterback play, let's say that Carson Wentz had normal ligaments or something and with sense of self-awareness, like all of the things that he was never going to have by fate. Sure, like they could have limped into the playoffs. It would have been one of the more fascinating seasons that I think the NFL has seen, much less Vikings fans have seen. But yeah, like this is just not a team that has the tools to win against good teams. So like, what would the playoffs even be for? That said, I do want to say that like the gulf between their performance against bad teams and good teams is really enormous. Like it is significant. And also like that Falcons team wasn't that good. People were talking early in the season about how good that defense might be, and that didn't really pan out. And the Steelers, I mean, okay, they're a playoff team, but like, we know what the deal is.
Yeah, I mean, Braun pointed it out yesterday. There were a lot of competitive games against some better teams, and then there were some no-shows. There were no-shows against the Chargers, against the Packers, against the Seahawks, against the Falcons. Did I leave one out? I think that was a thorough recap there.
Offensively, there were more no-shows than that. But
right, but like total
defense
team
carried some of those. Yeah.
Total team no-shows, Eagles, Chargers come to the top of my mind. Falcons, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the Falcons, Chargers, I would say Lambeau was a total no-show. I want to say Seahawks because they got shut out, but I can't do that to the defense.
The defense did so well against a genuinely good offense, yeah.
We're going to pause and Macho Meach, buckle up. We're going to hammer the breaking news sounder.
Oh, no.
Some coaches getting fired, openings there to swipe Flores away. All that next on the Viking Squad Show. We are brought to you today by BetterHelp. The new year doesn't require a new you, maybe just a less burdened you. We carry these things that weigh us down, hold us back, and therapy can help identify what those things are by offering an unbiased perspective to better understand your relationships, motivations, and emotions. That's where BetterHelp comes in, making it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist who can help you work through what's holding you back. They are fully licensed in the U.S. and work according to a strict code of conduct. If you're not happy with the match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time. Create a schedule that works for you. There's over 30,000 therapists, average rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on 1.7 million client reviews. That's a pretty good batting average. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lockedon. Better, HELP.com/lockedon. We are also presented today by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine, jumping into player projections for the first time, just trying something new, it can feel like a challenge. But Prize Picks, well, they make it easy. It always feels good to be right when you have those hunches. There's high-pressure football matchups coming up here in the playoffs, NBA regular season, NHL regular season. I was checking out the Kings Wild projections for tonight. I'm eyeing up Matt Boldy. 1.5 shots on goal. That seems like a gimme to me. I also wouldn't mind Kirill Kaprizov scoring a goal. Put those two together, and you can make some money. Getting started on Prize Picks, it's super quick, super simple. The app is super easy to navigate. And with the Flex Play, you can put together a multi-projection entry, and if you get only one wrong, you still cash. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Okay, are you ready? Ready? Here we go.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Jonathan Gannon, the latest head coach to be released. That one, not surprising. I think what we're seeing today, though, is that coaches on the bubble, they're all getting fired.
All of them.
Carroll, Kevin Stefanski, gone. Toast. Raheem Morris. See ya. Out the door. That's in addition to that Titans opening that was already in existence. So we've now
Macho
got
Meach still breathing.
Did we? Okay. Actually,
welfare check on Macho.
Did we get Pete Carroll? Did we throw that in there?
Yeah.
Did I not do Carroll?
No, I thought I heard you say.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Never mind.
do it again. Play again. There we go.
Pete Carroll out of here. One and done. Tom Brady picking a new coach.
So here's my issue with that. I could see Tom Brady convincing Mark Davis, who cares the least about these things anyway, to hire Brian Flores. That is the one concerning opening to me.
I agree. Also, Florio's already reported that.
What?
For whatever that's worth to you.
No, I just wanted to be kind of first, but there's no chance I was going to be. Well, I'm glad Florio reported it. That means it's less likely.
Can we take a minute to talk about Kevin Stefanski? I feel like, not to relitigate 2019, but there was quite a lot of
firing
hands
Zimmer
on hips
to retain
when Stefanski went to Cleveland, going, "Oh no, he's gonna go win all these championships." Nope. Technically, not even one playoff game. And even if you want to give him the for one, which I guess is fair, he was as successful in the playoffs as Kirk Cousins was as a Viking.
So he is already apparently drawing interest as a potential head coach, which is too bad because I would be really curious about, making Wes Phillips the scapegoat and then bringing it.
God, that'd be so good.
Right, but there's no chance. Right?
No shot.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we say that, but there's 5 openings. There's way more than 5 candidates. There are so many more. There's more than 5 people that we will say, "Oh, there's no way they're not a head coach," which is how we've survived with Brian Flores the last few years.
Yeah, and I could still see the Jets kind of departing with Aaron Glenn, a defensive head coach.
Yeah, apparently reporting is that they are not going to.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's old reporting. That's from a few weeks ago.
Huge fan.
Some very embarrassing things have happened. Maybe moods are changing.
Primarily, number one on that list would be the sideline dance that Glenn did early in the season. That
was the best thing he did, I think, actually.
They did get rid of the defensive coordinator earlier, which did not resolve the interception problem, unfortunately.
Did they get one yesterday? I didn't check.
They did not.
They
were the first team since 1933.
Yeah, so they're the old. So I looked at. So PFF started tracking dropped interceptions. So I looked at the dropped interceptions this year, and of course, if you add dropped interceptions to get interception opportunities, which isn't the correct way necessarily to do it, because there's a lot of interception opportunities the Vikings missed this year that were not dropped, like batted up passes that no one was near, stuff like that. But reasonable kind of proxy, whatever. Obviously, they're the only team that was 100% on missing all of their opportunities. But here's the interesting thing. No one else was at 33%. Everyone was catching way more picks than they dropped. It was so fun. And it was 3 drops. They didn't even get into position to grab picks, which you're frustrated with the Vikings turnover production before the last 5 weeks of the season. Good Lord. That must have been.
I don't know how any Jets fans are alive, to be honest. This was just a constant humiliation. I've called the Vikings humiliating, and they have been humiliating at times. But, you look over to the Raiders and the Jets, and it's just well, they're down 34-3 at home against a division rival again.
I tweeted a couple of weeks ago, wow, this is embarrassing even for the Jets. And while most of the people responding to that agreed at whatever game I was tweeting about, don't even remember. I think it may have been against the Patriots. That every week since then, that tweet has been retweeted. And not by me, just someone else is hey, check this
Evergreen.
Do you remember?
It's good to create evergreen content.
Do you remember like in 2016, the anxiety around opening US Bank Stadium and playing the Packers and like not wanting to get beat by the Packers in that first game?
Yeah.
And then, we won that game and that was cool. I feel like the idea of being the Jets in the last game at Orchard Park and then just letting it be that much fun for them is like kind of the other side of that coin. It's like, oh, cool. Another just horrifying thing is happening to the Jets. All right, well.
It's
a week
being
in the NFL
aware
season.
of like a Lovecraftian eldritch horror, like in your peripheral vision, knowing that actually it doesn't affect you, which is the least Lovecraftian thing. But you could just like, I'm going to look over there. Oh, wow. Horrors unbeknownst to man. That's cool. What's going on over here? Right? Like, it's just
much like a saw trap. At any point, these people could become Giants fans justifiably, but they can't. Like you can, but no,
Giants.
You can't.
We're also talking about the Giants here, and people are pointing out that they're also one of the openings. There's 6 total openings. They're also part of the lawsuit situation. I wouldn't consider them a Flores threat with regard to Flores. We've got 5 Flores locations right now. It would be funny. It would be entertaining. Also, if we're curious about the perception around the league of Brian Flores, like, is he going to get a high number of interviews? Titans have 3 DCs on their list, not named Brian Flores: Vance Joseph, Lou Anarumo, and Spags. No B-Flow. It's just a little surprising.
That's probably a good sign.
I think that's the way it's going to go. I don't think he's going to get every interview at every opening. It would have to be, but it would only take one team that specifically targets him and says, hey, we can have this guy if we want this guy. He's not interviewing anywhere else. And I'm Tom Brady. I'm going to wine and dine and convince him to come here. And the question is how picky he's going to be. We don't know that. We don't know that.
Like, I could very much see the Raiders enthusiastically hiring Flores, but with what Flores has valued in the past, I don't know if he would go to the Raiders. The only thing would be if Tom Brady's presence in and of itself makes him feel better about Raiders ownership, which has been disastrous for decades.
Right. I wouldn't be shocked if that actually did do it, though, right? Like, and for what it's worth, I don't even know if the Titans ownership situation has resolved. They've been like suing each other for years, right? So I have no idea. Like, I assume Amy Adams Strunk is like still like just the owner. Anyway, that's not a wonderful situation, right? So probably not Titans. Like, we were talking about how like Arizona is, not a great fit for ownership, reasons, how the Browns aren't a great fit for like ownership reasons, because it strikes me as the case that Brian Flores would want a reasonably good owner after having endured Stephen Ross, after having, having the ability to experience like Robert Kraft and the Rooneys and the Wilfs, right? So I'm curious, but I do think that Brady does have the ability to kind of smooth over the question marks about, the quality of the ownership as it relates to a head coach.
Let's finish up our nerdy stats.
Analytics fans rejoice.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's time to get educated.
Whoa, you're blowing my mind right now.
With the nerdy stat of the day.
Luke Braun gave his. Arif Hasan, what do you got?
I wanted to acquire a couple because, one of the things is that as I do research for them, I just kind of say them during the show and then I lose access to being able to use them for the segment. So I was kind of taking a look at the way that the Vikings coverages have changed under Brian Flores over the past 3 years. They have doubled, for example, their cover 6 usage rate. They have dropped by about a third their usage of any cover 1 or single high safety coverages. I just think it's kind of cool how every year there's like a different emphasis, right? So like last year, for example, the Vikings actually ran cover 2 man at a reasonable rate. It's like one of the least used coverages in the NFL, and they actually ran it at like a 5% rate, more than almost any other team last year, right? And this year they're running cover 6 at a 12% rate, which is not the most or anything like in the NFL, but it's like twice that of the year prior. And then in 2023 they ran it virtually none of the time. So I think it's kind of cool how the Vikings continue to kind of keep innovating on those blitz packages. I also wanted to keep track of how often JJ McCarthy was throwing intermediate between the numbers. I was using that as a nerdy stat for a couple of weeks. And good news, over the last 2 weeks, he threw it over the middle of the field intermediate 4 times, which is 4 times the amount he was doing it over the previous 4 weeks. So that he's now throwing some real passes in real NFL offenses. We'll see if that means anything. I can't tell you that. Also, while I was doing research, I found this really funny. So how I mentioned that the Vikings are like 3rd in EPA per dropback by next gen or something like that. If you go like by PFF grade and look at the PFF grades for the Vikings defense, I don't think any of their aggregate defensive grades are in the top half. That could be a commentary on PFF, maybe, or it also could be a commentary on how Brian Flores has the ability to just kind of pull together all these disparate parts, right? None of whom have to perform outstandingly well in order for a defense to do incredible. And honestly, while I do think the truth is somewhere in between the middle of those 2 potential conclusions, I'm leaning much more towards the Flores one. I think it is really outstanding. So I've got more, but I think giving 3 or 4 right here was good.
That's solid.
I've pulled a couple more too if you want them.
Yeah, hit us with it.
By total offensive EPA, the Vikings are in a cluster of 5 teams with the Browns, Raiders, Jets, and Titans that are pretty significantly in their own bucket of the worst 5 teams in the league.
Have they all fired their coach? All 4 of those?
Everybody but the Jets, baby.
Oh.
Who's the Jets offensive coordinator even, actually?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Great. Good for them.
But I also compared the Vikings offensive output by EPA to other previous Viking seasons, specifically ones that got coaches fired. It is slightly better than the 2010 Vikings. They did manage to buoy above that one, thanks to the Cowboys and Commanders streak. But it is worse than the 2018 offense, and by like a lot worse than the 2018 offense that got John DeFilippo fired, the 2016 offense that Norv Turner will say resigned from, worse than the 2001 offense that got Denny Green fired, and the 2021 team that got Mike Zimmer fired. Now, some of this, like 21, 2013, 2005, I didn't read some of those out because those firings were more about the defense. But suffice to say, this was a fireable offensive output. Really not a lot of wiggle room on that. And who you want to blame for that and who is in the crosshairs for that is, of course, up for debate. We know based on reporting that it's not Kevin O'Connell. But this is definitely the kind of performance that in this league gets an organization to look at you and say, you're not the right guy for this job.
So on that note, we've had some people in the chat wondering about Vikings firings. Now, I projected yesterday that it may not happen today. They may even have O'Connell talk this week and then announce those moves later and avoid the hard questions. But I think Wes Phillips would be about a minus 125 to be gone.
Yeah. Favorable, but not a lock. I would agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get that scapegoat in there,
Yeah. I've been of the opinion for a few weeks that like they clear out the offensive staff in a kind of wholesale way with maybe an exception or two of like a Keenan McCardell if you want. And basically tell Kevin O'Connell, okay, you now get to rehire your offensive staff, but this time you're doing it without a veteran quarterback in the building. Like last time they built this offensive staff, it was, Kirk Cousins throwing to Adam Thielen. The personnel was a lot different. The idea was a lot different. The vision for the team was much different, and they were in a different place. So it's okay. Let's say these guys are, all done, and Kevin, go hire a staff that you think is right for developing a quarterback rather than maximizing a veteran quarterback. And you're on probably a little bit of thin ice going into next year. You can't go 4-8 again, I bet. But hopefully things turn out better that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Daniels would be about the same odds, I would say.
I would say so.
The
heat has fallen away a little bit, but like, it does sting that kickoff return against the Bears. If they win that Bears game, they win the NFC North. Like that does sting.
That's so stupid. That's very funny.
It's really stupid, but they would have won the NFC North. Yeah.
I would actually say the odds of firing Matt Daniel I don't know, higher lower works here because of the way spreads work, but I think
Longer,
it's
shorter.
Sure, shorter. I'd say it's more likely than firing Wes Phillips, and obviously I think that the Wes Phillips potential firing is greater than 50%. Someone in the chat asked who replaces Wes. I don't know, man. That's for them to figure out. Wes is a scapegoat fire, I think. Like, it's not necessarily that he did a bad job. It's that the offense did a bad job, and the head coach isn't going to fire himself. So,
right.
There's a lot of coaches that have just gotten into the portal, so to speak, via these firings. So you take your pick. You're gonna have a lot of options.
Any good options, Sam? Do you think?
Yeah, Matt
I think Kevin Stefanski is a good option.
Luke is right that there are too many of us that are like, yeah, he's never gonna make it. Just like with a mid-first draft prospect, there's like 20 of them that could all go between 10 and 18.
Everybody's gonna go top 5.
Yeah, right. So at some point it is possible, but it does seem really unlikely. Stefanski would be just such an outstanding hire.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, the Jaguars offense was so excellent under Grant Udinski. It just feels, man, they really screwed that up.
I feel like the Jaguars made a very bold move to take an assistant QB coach and make him OC.
Dude, you just gotta read some random beat writer's piece in the local paper to figure.
I read the piece. I know. I'm familiar with the piece.
That's how coaches scout other coaches. You just.
I do think he doesn't. Nobody sniffs around him at all. If Gessling doesn't write that piece. Yeah. I feel like I still put. I feel like I'm giving more of the Jaguar season to Liam Cohen than I am to Grant Udinski.
Hey, I asked around some Jaguars people. Apparently, Udinski had a pretty significant role in the way that offense evolved over the season. So,
wow, what a tragedy!
They
could right those wrongs. How about Brian Callahan?
How about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's getting another run for a while.
Yeah.
I'll give you my nerdy stat, then we'll get to season predictions. The Vikings could not run play action with J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy was not good at it. He was second worst in passer rating to Shedeur Sanders. Fourth worst completion percentage, sixth worst pressure to sack. Like for a guy that already struggled with decision-making, mechanics, adding that additional variable to the mechanical process, having him take his eye off the defense for those 0.4 of a second, doesn't seem like that is something that he's capable of right now. And that this is a play action offense that's been really successful over the years. And McCarthy was awful at it. 63.1 passer rating out of play action. Ouch. His performance this year did not align with any of our preseason predictions. We'll tell you line by line what we predicted and what actually happened when we return. Brought to you today by the good partners at Drip Drop. Kicking off the year feeling good is the goal, and hydration is the easiest win. When I stay on top of it, my energy, my focus, my mood, they all level up. And let's be real, plain water doesn't always cut it. Kind of flavorless, doesn't have a lot in it. If you're grinding through the long days, hitting the gym, trying to stay consistent with your health goals, Drip Drop comes in handy. It's doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. You can think more clearly. You have elevated mood, gives you that fresh glow. When you use Drip Drop as part of your daily routine, it's a game changer. It's for every single day usage. It gives you a precise ratio of electrolytes and glucose for rapid absorption, delivering 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. It's a science-backed formula. Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use promo code LOCKEDONNFL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Stock up now at dripdrop.com. Use promo code LOCKEDONNFL. All right, that's how it began. We had 15 categories to start the season. We made the predictions, and this is how it went down. So we had some traditional ones. We had some kind of zany ones. J.J. McCarthy, touchdowns, interceptions, yards, and rushing yards. The final line, 1,632 passing yards.
I had that
11
right.
touchdowns, 12 picks. 181 rushing yards. 4 points available. So basically, whoever predicted the lowest. Luke Inman
interceptions.
Except for interceptions. Luke Inman had the first win at 3,892 passing yards. That was the lowest among us. So he missed it by 2,200, and he wins the point.
Jesus.
We were real.
The lowest touchdown projection.
Yeah.
Part of it
missing
was also,
games is not going to be ever part of your projection. Yeah.
Yeah, and part of it was just like, well, they're going to throw the ball like all the time, right? Which that part was true.
Mm-hmm. Arif, you got the touchdown point. You had 24 touchdowns.
Okay. Can't believe I got the touchdown point.
You can also be proud of your interception point. You nailed it. 12 interceptions. Well done.
Let's go. That's exactly how I envisioned getting this point.
On the nose.
Just
Luke
like they
Braun.
drew it up.
Luke Braun gets a rushing yard point. 222 rushing yards was your prediction. Pretty close. Good job.
Okay. I definitely just went 2-2-2. I remember being very unserious on this day.
Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, rushing yards for each. Final numbers. Jordan Mason, 758. Aaron Jones, 548. Luke Inman takes them both. Luke Inman, Jordan Mason with 851. Aaron Jones with 712. Give 2 to Inman.
Wow. Whatever happened to Luke Inman, by the way? That's crazy.
Yeah, he's winning posthumously here.
Justin Jefferson, receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns.
This is the worst one.
84 receptions, 1,048 yards, 2 touchdowns. You two, Braun and Arif, you'll have to share. You'll have to split the point. You each predicted 100 receptions.
Oh, we shouldn't have done that.
We should not have done. Why'd we do that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Luke Inman gets the yardage point. Luke Inman had 1,333 yards. And obviously the touchdown point. Do you guys even want to, Braun and Arif, you're splitting this one too. Do you even want to accept it? You're so far off. 8 touchdowns.
No,
I mean, yeah.
I'm a monster. Of course I'm going to accept it.
Yeah. No,
what did Brennan Lee Mulligan say?
At least there's no half points now. We can say,
now we've eliminated the tie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brennan Lee Mulligan said there's no corner of my heart I wouldn't turn over for a point. Yeah.
Yeah, no. We're not doing this with honor.
Yeah.
And who is this individual?
He's a comedian.
Oh, great. All right. I play the audio of some of the better ones, and we have some audio here. Number of catches for non-Hawkinson or Oliver tight ends.
Ooh.
Ben Sims, let's go.
The correct answer was 5. Ben Sims with 3. Ben Urasek with 2. And here's what the winner said.
In the room now. Once Addison is back, you're 4 deep at receivers that the team has like clearly feels good about. +2 running. Like, I don't know how often you're ever even going to see 13%. I think someone would have to get hurt. I'm going to go with 5.
What a shot.
Fantastic.
Point, Luke Braun. Sack leader ends up being Dallas Turner with 8.
Yeah.
With 8.
Sam, you ye of little faith, Sam.
Now, 2 of us said Turner. But only one of us got the total close enough to get the point. I wonder who that was. Let's find out.
I really want to say Dallas Turner for the bit, and I think I'm gonna
for the bit.
Say for Dallas the bit Turner for the bit, but 6.5.
Oh
wow, I was dead right before this game.
Jonathan Allen might have 6.5. What? 6.5?
Yeah, and everybody else
gets
going to
be spread out.
Yeah.
It's going to be very spread out.
It's going to be spread out.
5. Yeah, and they're going to.
It was pretty spread out
as a team among 8 players. Yeah.
He was pretty spread out.
Honestly, very good. Very good prediction. Excellently.
The way you set that up, I definitely thought it was going to be you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have very few points in this year's contest. You wait.
Just you wait.
That was about the closest I was going to get. I did get the player right, but I'll give you the point for the number. Interception leader ends up being 3 players with 2. Harrison Smith, Byron Murphy, Josh Metellus. Only one of us even had one of those players, and it was Arif Hasan with
Byron.
4. Now, Braun, you had the number, but you had Cashman. You had 2 with Cashman. I don't know how to award those points. I'm thinking Arif because Arif had the player.
I think the player matters more.
Yeah, I don't feel like because Cashman got 0 interceptions, so I don't feel like
the number. Yeah, the number is more of a tiebreaker, like it was for the sack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Will Reichard go ahead field goals in the 4th quarter. The correct answer was 1 in the Giants game.
Of all games,
the most important kick.
Yeah,
were they tied? It was 13-13 in that game, and then he.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys were very optimistic. Inman had 6, Braun had 6, Arif had 5. I will not
3. Apologize for that. This is a team that had like 11 one-score games for like 3 out of 4 years, and they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
What was the one-score game count this season? I feel like I never even tracked it.
It was certainly less because they got their doors blown off a bunch of times.
Let's count it up real quick. So 1-0.
I can count it up.
1-1, 2-1, 2-2. I'm on a roll. 3-2,
Okay.
3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4. 5-4 is the final count.
They
above 500
games. All right.
So they'll regress back to 5. They're regression candidate.
Yes.
All right, this is kind of interesting. The highest scoring point total of the year for a Vikings game. So total points between the two teams. Correct answer was 60. Cowboys game. No one guessed the Cowboys. We all had a guess of the game. It was not. No one got the Cowboys right. But Arif, you had the number closest at 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Also, point of order, Macho Meat, you're correct. I plan on shaving my head immediately after the show. This has gone too far.
Did I say the Bengals game?
Yep. You said 84 points in the Bengals game.
Yeah.
4 points.
Which
I mean,
one of the teams held up their end of the bargain there.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like a 45-35 kind of.
Yeah.
Inman said
I thought
Ravens
the
game.
Bengals were just going to wreck the Vikings defense, and then Joe Burrow was out, and it all changed.
I said Commanders game. Again, one team held up their end. Arif said the Lions on the road. That was 51. That was pretty high scoring. But Arif gets the point. Number of taunting penalties earned by Vikings players. Well, it happened yesterday.
That's right. Let's go, JJ.
Is that the only one?
That's the only one.
No Jay Ward acting out on a kickoff?
Not of the taunting variety.
For that one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if unsportsmanlike conduct goes under a different bucket, but I'm going off of NFLpenalties.com.
No, for sure.
Wow.
Luke Inman and Sam Ekstrom each said 1, and they'll split the point.
We're back to half points.
40-plus yard plays offensively. What do you think the answer was?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Like 3? No, I mean, JJ had some, Justin Jefferson had some at the beginning of the year. Still.
He had the jet sweep from Christmas.
4.
Yeah, had to be something like that, 3 or 4.
6?
6, yeah.
The answer is 6.
Yeah. Addison had the big 81-yarder from Wentz in, I think, Ireland.
Oh, right. He got hawked.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was also funny that he got hawked by a linebacker. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. A linebacker that ran like a 4.2 or something.
Yeah,
right?
what a fast linebacker.
We all learned that like in real time.
Yeah, in real time. We're like, hey.
What, that guy's wearing 41. Oh, okay.
That was the fastest defensive tackle in next gen stats history. All right.
And did the Vikings not score a touchdown then on that drive?
No, they did. It just took forever, and then it kind of ruined the clock.
Yeah.
Because they went all the way to 4th down.
Yeah.
Yep. The correct answer was 6. Luke Inman gets the point with 7.
Hey,
Good job,
wow.
Luke Inman. Number of defensive and special teams touchdowns. You know what it was?
I definitely underestimated this.
We have to be underestimated just because of the Bengals, right? We had to have underestimated this. But also the Vikings didn't have any turnovers between like the Bengals and the Commanders, right? So this is interesting. I don't know what the numbers or what our prediction was.
2. They were both in the Bengals game.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's
you know
it?
what? I was remembering the recent Van Ginkel interception and forgetting that he didn't make it all the way.
Yeah, he didn't house it like he has done.
Yeah.
So the winner, who said 2, gets the point.
Give me 2. Big regression.
Big regression.
And
I think I said 0.
Nailed the regression. I think you... No, you went the opposite way. You said that they will have 5 and they will allow more than that.
Nice. That's good. That's good. What did I say? Do you know that?
Yeah, you said 4.
I think I wanted some special teams ones.
I said 3. Yeah. We thought that the new kickoff would lead to more. Didn't. Throws by non-quarterbacks by the Vikings.
Ooh.
Did Cam Akers get one in there?
Cam Akers
threw
got
a
one.
touchdown, and that is the only
in
one
London.
all year.
We didn't get a Ryan Wright throw all year? No!
He was busy doing.
He was busy being a good punter. No, I understand.
You never need the fake when he can flip the field.
Look, Johnny Hecker was one of the greatest punting throwers for like 3 years, and he was also the best punter. So you don't have,
I will say, a little bit of a Ty Felton merchant, but I'm giving Ty Felton a lot of this because his play as a gunner is like insane.
Ty Felton merchant is funny.
Yeah, Ryan Wright, Ty
People
Felton
tried
merchant.
to gaslight me that Dan Chisena was really good at this, and then I watched Ty Felton, and I'm like, Dan Chisena was not good at this. What are you
he was
saying?
nearly fast at it. It was
anybody can run.
He did induce a decent amount of fair catches, but also he missed so many tackles and then incurred like 3 penalties as a special teamer in one season. I've never seen it. It's crazy.
He's still in the league.
What?
I want to say plays for like Dallas or something. Hold on.
Wow, you get that. I'll play the audio.
Panthers
Got the
going to the playoffs.
No kidding. Non-QB throws. Here's you got the point.
I was going to go with 1, and I'm going to stick with that. Let's go.
On the nose, Arif Hasan. We got a few more. Get a quick break in, and we'll see who goes closest on our overall season record prediction that's coming up.
Oh, no.
Brought to you by Game Time. The NFL's headed to the playoffs. Half of the NBA season, half of the NHL season left. Nothing like being there. Crowd noise, energy, cheering alongside your fellow fan. Watching at home, it's nice, but the stadium energy, it does hit different. I can personally attest. You're waiting in. But, getting tickets can be stressful. You have to be in the queues. You got to deal with logins, passwords you forgot, prices changing at the last second. Game Time gives the advantage back to you. It's a hack for getting great tickets. If you're an NFL fan, you want to go to an NFL playoff game, this is the place to get those tickets. Check out the NFL playoff games now. We know the days, we know the matchups. You can start seeing the dollar amounts and see how affordable it is for you to get in the door to an NFL playoff game. Super intuitive app. The zone deals are fun. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save money. All the fees are up front. Make sure that's toggled on so the price you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee gives you real peace of mind. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL. That's LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today and get back to being there live. Few more season predictions to revisit on the Vikings Squad Show. And hey, make sure you're checking out Luke Braun every day on Locked On Vikings. Total number of offensive players who had a tackle. And Vikings had a lot of turnovers to make this.
Oh, yeah. This has got to be a higher number than we all said.
Did McCarthy get a tackle? I hope so. He can hit.
I listened back to the criteria we set, and it was different players who had tackles.
Right, not the total number.
So not the total number.
Yeah,
I remember
total number of
discussing
turnovers.
yeah.
So I looked at StatHead, the list of every Vikings turnover, and it says who had the tackle. So I just counted up the number of different players who had a tackle. The final answer is 12, which is a split point. Inman had 9. Braun had 15. Braun spiritually
Why did it say 15?
It's the full point. You must have. Well, let's see. What did you say?
What was I cooking?
For McCarthy interceptions, you had him on 10. So clearly, you thought that the Vikings
There'd
were
be
going
fumbles.
Just be fumbles.
Fumble a lot.
Yeah. But like, how does 15 different players? That's everybody.
And then some.
Yeah. What was I cooking?
Well, it ended up being close.
Okay. I guess I'll take it.
It worked out for you. Players with 100% of snaps played didn't happen. Nobody did it. Will Fries came close, started every game, but didn't play every snap. Luke Braun gets the point. He's the only one who said one player. You said one player. The rest of us said 2. Good for you.
Yeah, I remember going in and being like, well, 2 of the linemen are like already hurt.
Yeah.
And we haven't even started camp. This could be rough.
But McCarthy's going to play the whole season, man.
I thought the one would be McCarthy.
You got through 2 games. Finally, season record and playoff results. I mean, this could have looked really bad for us, and it ends up not bad at all for 2 of you.
You know, 5-game win streak at the end.
I think I remember what I said.
Inman and Arif were 1 game overly optimistic, 10-7. 10-7. Braun, you said 12-4-1 because you have to have the tie. It's part of your beliefs.
I definitely thought I said 8-8-1. Okay, whoops.
It sounds like last year.
That would have been last year, yeah.
Last year you might have gone like 6-10-1 because we did not like Darnold.
True.
I went 12-5. So Braun, you were actually the most optimistic, but I did tack on that the Vikings would reach the NFC title game. So that might have been a little misguided.
Sam, do you remember who did you want the Vikings to get instead of Darnold? The name escapes me.
Russell?
Oh,
Wilson?
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, just wanted to know.
We all miss a prediction once in a blue moon. Come on now.
This year's version of whatever the Russell Wilson thing is going to be something special because there are some real bad ideas you could throw out there.
Yeah, there's some delicious ideas as to how I like to think of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make sure that I come up with that prediction for you, just for you guys. The final total. He's not here to accept his award. Luke Inman, 7.5 points. Arif Hasan, 6.5.
No.
Braun, 5.5. And the worst predictor of the year, Sam Ekstrom, with 1.5 points.
We did not nail it, I don't feel like.
No, it is the injury situation and the quarterback being butt. Both of those kind of really hurt us a lot more than we had anticipated.
I think we had a sense that, like, look, it's not going to be like what Sam Darnold was doing last year, and we knew there was going to be bumps, but we didn't think it was going to be like, oops, you're the worst team in the league for a while.
Yeah, I was really bought into the idea that the Vikings kind of know who's on their roster, which had been demonstrated time again. They absolutely do not, which is a hilarious problem to have.
Yeah, no, and I don't think, like, this was not a problem before this year, so I don't know.
Right.
What happened?
So, like,
I'm still of the, like, my theory is still that there's just like too much bickering. Somebody had ideas and wouldn't shut up about them, and then they got indecisive.
That I think will play into the QB help segment that's coming up next. But just like generally speaking, I just like the idea that the Vikings would only move on from a quarterback if the quarterback that they had in place was at least average, was so seductive and appealing to me, right? Because they got to choose whether or not they were going to stick with the guy, as opposed to have this quarterback foisted upon them. And so I didn't think that a typical model for a rookie quarterback made sense here. And yet he was worse than a typical rookie quarterback. By so much. What in the world?
I think really the most devastating thing that happened to anyone this year happened to Arif because he became Carson Wentz's strongest soldier.
My soul has been carved asunder. It's It's so bad. I'm so glad I was a cynic before this season because I can't imagine being an optimist heading into this.
Nerdy Harry Potter reference for those that follow. It's like you Horcruxed your soul. You divided it up into pieces, like with every Carson Wentz take that you had to support him.
It was, yeah, I agree. It was like committing a murder, right? That's the process.
Aiken. Yeah. Two sides of the same coin. In closing, I do want to get to this because it was on the rundown. There were some leaks, like there were some coordinated reports yesterday from at least Rossini and Rappaport, and within the last couple days, about the Vikings are determined to bring in quarterback help, veteran quarterback help, solidifying the room, but yet they're still committed to JJ McCarthy. What sift through that for me with like a skeptical nose. Why would the Vikings leak it? What is the motivation? What does it mean? Is this just the obvious interpretation that they're going to get a veteran backup?
Rossini's source in particular hates McCarthy. We know this.
Yeah,
whoever she's got in the building,
right,
is not in McCarthy's corner.
This is the thing, right? Like I think, like we shouldn't think of it like the Vikings leaked it because this organization is not acting, at least with the way it interfaces with insiders, as one unit. There has been constant disagreement inside the building, and many people are using insiders to try and win the disagreement or get out ahead of stuff or
they're
whatever.
Just loose-lipped, like it happens. That's what journalists do.
Right. But like, I think it's like really clear just from like the Rodgers saga that the Vikings were not internally, unified on what to do, and one or a couple of people were using access to insiders. Like that's hard to get as a coach, but like using insiders to try and help kind of like litigate their side of it. Like maybe if they developed enough public momentum for like Rodgers to the Vikings, they could get it done. So I think it's the same thing, right? Like it wouldn't shock me if there are many people inside the building that are like, wow, McCarthy really turned it, around the last 5 or 6 games. So we should stick with them and not bring in genuine competition. And another couple of people in the building that are like, are you insane? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I'm going to talk to my friend Diana.
I forget who reported it, so I apologize. But it was a national reporter with a lot of credibility who reported that, like, in the building, it could have been in the building, there is quite a bit of seller's remorse about Sam Darnold, and sure, I mean they're the 1 seed, right? And I think that's going to be the kind of mentality that's like, oh my God, we let this very good veteran go. We have to try to get a good veteran again. We cannot do this young quarterback thing. But I think more like practically, if you do that, it's more like, unless we're talking about, some crazy blockbuster trade because Joe Burrow asks out of Cincinnati or something ridiculous and unfathomable like that. The people that you're going to have access to are like discards, right? It's going to be like, Tua. And those people don't inspire a lot of confidence in terms of like, oh, we brought in Tua, now it's a Super Bowl. Like nobody's going to say that. But what it does is in the world where JJ McCarthy either can't stay healthy or just sucks the same, you have a floor. And that's what that veteran needs to give you, is a floor. And then you say, McCarthy, go beat Tua in a camp competition. If you can't do that, this ain't for you. And if you can't stay healthy, at least we can throw that guy in. So I think the criteria is for that situation. You want somebody that, and this is why I don't know if Wentz is going to come back, if he even comes back to the league at all. You need somebody who can be durable in the world where JJ McCarthy's out for an extended period of time. Wentz lasted 5 games before his body fell apart on him. Mm-hmm. You need somebody that can, give you that can take care of the ball. You don't want somebody that's going to do a lot of turnovers, right? Like that's you want someone that gives you a very sensible, reasonable floor. And you're also making this decision after if you have kept Brian Flores or not, which is helpful too, because then you know what kind of defense you're working with.
So it sounds like you're not a fan of Tua as you outline all of the criteria that you've just outlined, that maybe Tua is the one who doesn't check any boxes here. at all.
Yeah. I don't think he's a fit for what the Vikings need, and I also don't think he should continue to play football.
Right. So this is so it would be so fitting for the organization that allowed Ryan Kelly to sustain 3 concussions in one season to then go out and get Tua.
Yeah, can we Black Monday the medical staff? Because there have been some moments. They pushed Christian Darrisaw to come back before he was healthy, extended that timeline. They pushed Brian O'Neill. He dealt with that knee the whole time, the Ryan Kelly concussion thing. We've had a lot of, I'll say, like, desynchronization between them and JJ McCarthy with all of those various injuries and how to deal with them.
I still want the full story on all of that, right? Just the way McCarthy's feedback interacts with the medicals. Like, I'm so curious because, like, it's not going to leave my brain, as explicable as it is, right? It's not going to leave my brain the time that they held him out of the Chargers game and then he was jumping up and down on the sideline. Now, it feels like
that was insane.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things that, like, it feels like me pointing this out is like low IQ fan brain. Like, those don't have to be the same thing. You can jump up and down, but it's like a high ankle sprain. Like, there's something here, right? Like, there's something here.
No, and the narrative that we were given was that McCarthy is like 99% there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so if he was that close, and then you're throwing Carson Wentz's corpse out there a whole bunch, and he is clearly more hurt. It cannot have been about
he was so hurt. I had a shred of respect for him. It was insane. What was this franchise doing?
So I think the Vikings should have to answer harder questions than they ended up having to answer there. I mean, they were asked and they deflected it, and it is what it is. But, like, the Vikings medical staff, man, I know they got a great reputation for the 2022 season, but I think in hindsight, it's pretty clear that they didn't find the secret sauce to staying healthy. I think luck for them, like it's luck for everybody.
Just one more smoothie. Just one.
Maybe good at injury prevention, but not good at injury management. Maybe that's the takeaway here. Is that 2024, like, the injuries were just few and far between, and when people actually got hurt,
it's luck.
What do we do?
They got a bunch of injuries in 23 and less in 24 and more in 25, and it's luck.
It's primarily luck.
Yeah. The squad show off-season plan, 2 shows a week. We're not going anywhere. Luke Braun's not going anywhere with Locked On Vikings. Lots of review, lots of preview. Luke Inman's prospect of the day. Knock on wood, Lord willing, his computer allows it. He will present that on a regular basis. We'll look into the free agency targets, everything you can imagine. We'll take questions. Alex, we will be getting into positions of need. Absolutely. We'll talk about Burrow and Lamar rumors. Yes, we will indulge all of it. And we'll track this coaching situation as well. For Arif Hasan, Luke Braun, myself, Sam Ekstrom, and Luke Inman and his blown up computer, we say farewell for today on the Squad Show, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.